Yeah, a lot of offers to, to help, to come this way, to...
Yeah. Did you ever feel unsafe?
No, I never felt unsafe.
Voici Slow Trap.
We're traveling around the world one trip at a time.
Allons-y.
Welcome back to Slow Travel. If you've been watching the channel, you know that Bougie and I are traveling around northern India. We've been in country now about 2 weeks. We're 2/3 of the way through our trip and we're finishing up our time in Jaipur. We thought now might be a good time to talk about some things, well, that are not normally talked about when you see YouTube videos about India.
This episode is about 6 lessons that we've learned in our travels through India.
We're going to be talking about food and alcohol, the hustle, women's issues, standards, and we're going to answer the question, should you travel to India? We hope you stick with us.
They're topics that we've found kind of consistent as we travel. They're important things to know when you visit India.
We were having a conversation last night over some drinks, and these were some very personal perceptions that we had about this trip in India. We've traveled a lot of places in Asia, and I think, this is something that we decided we really want to share. This is not meant as a critique of anyone we've met in India or the Indian culture. These are some important topics that I think Western travelers should be aware of if they're going to be doing this type of trip. Please don't take offense and understand that it's really about sharing some very personal perceptions, from our point of view.
There are things that we didn't think about before we came. We really didn't even eat Indian food before we came. So about 2 months before, we found a local restaurant and tried to find some dishes. So we were really not experienced with the Indian culture.
And to be clear, we love it. We love every bit of it. I eat Indian food all the time now. I can't get enough of it. And I embrace and enjoy the chaos, and some of the mayhem on the street. It's really awesome, right?
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But there's some things that you got to know if you're coming to do this for the first time, like we did. And we thought it was important to talk about them.
The first one is pretty obvious. I mean, it's their main food is vegetarian, right? We have found that there are veg and non-veg options. That's the way they reference them, veg and non-veg. Every restaurant we've been to has had a veg, non-veg option, and we could find something from both sides of the menu that we like to eat. There was even the same dish with or without meat. Now, the meat is either chicken, they have burgers, it's chicken burgers, or lamb mutton.
Lamb mutton.
Yeah.
No beef, no pork.
Beef. But at the Jaipur Marriott, they do have pork bacon.
And they do have bacon. I'm eating it up, tearing it up every morning, believe me. This is a key point. We were kind of concerned about the food coming here. Would we be able to kind of, get enough protein or get our meat fix while we're here? And we have. There's plenty of meat. But just like in the United States or maybe in Europe, where a vegetarian has to find, vegetarian food at a restaurant, well, it's kind of opposite here. As a meat lover, you have to find, the non-veg restaurants, the non-veg dishes that you can really sink your teeth into. This is an interesting change, and we've been able to get our meat. You just got to look for it, and it's delicious. And while we're on the topic of the food, let me just say the food's been excellent. Delicious. Whether you like Indian food or not, the food is great. There's just like any place else in the world, there's all sorts of food available, Indian food, quasi-Mexican food, all sorts of, there's even American fare and typical European continental fare. It's been great. The quality's been very high. Everything is very fresh. We have not had a bad meal yet since we've been here, right?
It's been great.
What's your favorite dish so far?
Oh, our first restaurant, they had lamb shish kebabs. Those are really good.
And it's a minced sort of lamb that's then put into kind of a roll that makes the kebab, and it's really very good. Me personally, anything that's chicken tikka, anything that's chicken tandoori tikka, it's kind of cooked over an open flame, it has a little bit of char, I'm all over that.
Oh, I did have some good dim sum, they called it, but it wasn't really soup dumplings, but they were chicken Thai spiced
Right. A lot of Chinese food available, but I got to say, having lived in China, it's not real Chinese food by Chinese chefs. It's more of an Indian version of the Chinese taste and kind of staples. That's what you'll find.
This is the lime chicken. We had this the other night. This is so good. Man. It's just got an amazing flavor. This is like a butter sauce. Just a hint of lime is so good.
And that leads into the next topic, which is the alcohol.
Alcohol. We're not big drinkers, but we do like to have a cocktail at the end of the day or maybe over a meal. What you need to know is that some of the restaurants, they do not serve alcohol. They don't have the liquor license. It's not offered.
And in Varanasi, where it was a religious place, we had to find it on the down low.
Yeah, kind of on the down low. You got to kind of search it out and find it. You will find the alcohol. It's not like being in a Muslim country per se where alcohol is prohibitive. It's just not readily available, and it's kind of kept separate from the actual kind of family restaurants and what have you. You may be able to find beer or wine, but then you won't find cocktails or hard liquor. You may be able to find a bar that serves the hard liquor, the beer, and the wine, and then they will have some sort of limited restaurant food that goes with it. One of the things that you really have to be prepared for if you come to India is what I've come to refer to as the hustle. And the hustle is everybody is hustling to make a little bit of money. And when a foreigner arrives on the scene in any capacity of any type, the hustle gets turned up about tenfold, and they are all over you. And you need to be prepared because it can be very exhausting. It can wear you down to the point that you feel like you're going to lose your mind. Folks coming up to you, asking to sell you something, trying to pitch you something, trying to get you to come to their shop or something.
Even trying to help you.
Yeah, even trying to help you. We stopped on the street a number of times just to get our bearings, struggling with the cell phone reception, trying to get the maps to pull up. And it was like 3 or 4 people come out of the woodwork, trying to offer you help, trying to get you to come to their shop, trying to get you into their brother's cab, trying to do all manner of things. And you just can't get a moment's rest.
Right. Come in, have a seat,
Come in,
see
have
more,
a seat,
buy
see more,
more,
buy more. Let me take you over here. Oh, it's just around the corner. And then they walk you, a half a mile down the street. Of course, we stayed in a number of high-end hotels throughout our travels. Even at the Marriott here in Jaipur, the level of service is almost suffocating. And you really can't get moments of peace and quiet or rest without someone coming up to you. Almost to the point that it's disruptive. Last night, for the first time, I sat in the restaurant with my earpods in, just trying to relax and listen to some music, and I was interrupted literally every 2 minutes by someone coming, offering to clean the table, offering to bring me food, offering to ask if I was okay, just nonstop. And it's not the same people. It will be 2, 3, 4, a dozen different folks, from the maitre d' to the chef coming out from the back to check on us. It's a bit much.
Yeah, it's important to be prepared for that, because if you're not ready, you can, lose your mind. I know several times I just said, I need some quiet. Just stop talking to me.
It's so oppressive at some points. You almost just want to say, get away from me. Just leave me be. And of course, people are just trying to be friendly, be helpful. They're trying to make a buck. I get that. But it's off-putting. And frankly, it's rude, because we'll be having a conversation. Someone will come up and interrupt us, try and sell us something or do something, or even in the 5-star restaurants, come up and try and serve you. It's absolutely kind of disruptive.
Because it's that on top of all the noise of the background.
Right. You go out on the street and you have to understand that the decibels are somewhere around 75 to 100 decibels non-stop. horn blowing, sirens, diesel engines, crowds, people screaming. I gotta be honest with you, some of the most peaceful time is when the call to prayer was done in some of the neighborhoods in town where they have mosques. Then it was kind of peaceful. It was a little bit of like semblance of order amongst all the chaos. The rest of the time, it's just a cacophony of noise.
Another issue, of course, is a little more personal. It's, I call them the female issues. It is a male-dominated society, I found. And I would say it's not really a place for the lone female traveler or the groups of female travelers. It's, I was worried coming here, you hear all the stories in, the news.
Sexual violence and things like that. Yeah.
Right. And I found kind of walking around the maybe lack of a better word, the cat calls, just a vibe that I felt,
it's a little bit off.
especially, when I was by myself. Now, I was never afraid. You hear cat calls all the time, right? But they were there and they were obvious. Even, when Jay was 10 feet in front of
10 feet in front of you, right?
Yeah.
To me, this is a very interesting comment from Bougie, because last night over drinks when we were talking about this, she brought this up and I was kind of flabbergasted. I was like, really? Like, I never heard the cat calls. I never really noticed anything. And
Of course. Yeah,
right?
you wouldn't.
Why not? I mean, because I'm a guy, right? I wouldn't pick up on that. So it was interesting to me that you got this vibe a little bit. And I will say this, I will say this. There are times that we have been out early in the morning, perhaps a little later at night, in certain areas where it's noticeable there are no women on the street. Not foreigners, not mothers and daughters. There's no one out on the street other than men. And it is a little disconcerting, right? Especially sometimes in the morning when we were moving, to get to certain areas to start our day very early. No women on the street. Not till at least 10:30, 11 o'clock do you start to see the families come out, the women coming out maybe to go shopping, or coming out with the elderly to buy things and do stuff like that. So if you're a female traveler, you should be aware of this and be prepared.
A lot of the women that, when they are out, they're veiled either with a sort of hijab or even kind of a sari put over them.
Or a head covering or something like that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, they're traveling in groups. They are not traveling by themselves.
Yeah, a lot of offers to, to help, to come this way, to...
Yeah. Did you ever feel unsafe?
No, I never felt unsafe, but...
You get the vibe.
Yeah.
Bougie has been in some interesting places in her travels in France and other places, kind of doing her women's issues work. And so it's interesting I'm curious to see whether, is it unique to India or is it just kind of everywhere?
No, there's cat calls everywhere. But I think the reference to India is, the news of the violence against women that happens.
We bring this topic up because I'm going to tell you that, I noticed every restaurant we went to, every store that we went inside of, pretty much any male person that I talked to, they spoke to me. They all but ignored Bougie in the beginning and until a later part of the conversation, if they ever acknowledged her at all. Every restaurant we went into, they gave me the menu. They wouldn't give her a menu. She had to ask for a menu and finally would get one. The bill was always brought to me. The decision on what to order and the food, pretty much, look, it's very patriarchal. We bring it up because it's something
That's what it is, yeah. You didn't know about.
It's something you may not know about and you should be prepared for.
We go through security, and we talked about this in another video, but the women go through a different line to be wanded. If there's not a different line, like here, you know, you're wanded at the hotel or you have security at the hotel.
Yeah.
And if there's not a different line, they just, you
They
know,
simply
say
won't
thank
do it.
you.
Yeah, you got to,
and
everything
just keep
stops.
going.
Yeah.
They won't wand you.
They won't
so,
want you. Cultural difference. This can be very shocking, so that's why we bring it up.
Yeah. A group of females, I wouldn't encourage that.
This brings us to one of our last points, which is, you know, something I was concerned about coming to India was kind of dealing with the dirtiness of these, a lot of people, a lot of pollution. And I'm going to tell you, India, the parts that we've been through, is filthy. Everything is filthy. And there's no way to mince words about it. There's no way to kind of sugarcoat it and write it off as, oh, it's cultural, or the country's emerging, or this or that. I'm just going to straight up put it out there that it's filthy. When you go to a UNESCO World Heritage Site and you go to the Taj Mahal and you walk out the South Gate and you are in a, you know, slum that has no infrastructure, no running water, no public sewer system, these folks are just trying to get by in a neighborhood that has essentially been forgotten on the doorstep of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You know, it's shocking. And frankly, be ashamed that, you know, they allow this to go on. And anywhere else you go in the world to a UNESCO World Heritage Site, you know, there's some infrastructure around, you know, these sites. And repeatedly here in India, you will walk out of a UNESCO palace, tomb, what have you, and it's just absolute slums and filth and poverty. The level of cleanliness is just not, I would say it's just not to Western standards. There's no way to mince words about it. I'm sorry. And
maybe it's just dusty. I mean, there's open construction everywhere.
I feel like it goes beyond being dusty.
Dust.
We're talking about
I know.
filthy light switches, filthy silverware, filthy tabletops. God forbid something falls on the floor. Feces and animal feces, human and animal feces, and
food left out for the cows,
and
dogs.
We have been in places that it's just not fit for human living, and there must be serious health repercussions. It's something that needs to be addressed, and frankly, it should be something that's talked about, because the people who are living near these sites, they deserve better, and they should not be forgotten. You know, all of this is just our opinion, and we hope it doesn't offend anyone, but we really want to give it to you straight.
Because we thought, you know, we've never heard any of these things in our research for our trip.
You'll see a lot of YouTube channels, and people will take you through the markets, and they'll show everybody running up to them trying to sell stuff. They may show kind of the animals and some of the dirt that you will see, but you're really not prepared for it. And I never heard anybody talk about some of the women's issues, or even about this relentless hustle that will chase you down even when you're in a 5-star hotel.
So the real question is, should you go to India? Is it worth traveling there?
We have enjoyed our travels to India. We think it's an amazing trip, and definitely something you should put on your bucket list. To me, India reminds me of the People's Republic of China maybe 10 or 15 years ago. It's kind of got that vibe in many regards. Bougie has a saying. Bougie wasn't ready for the saying.
Right. There's somebody in the video.
The hustle. The gardener's slowly creeping into the shot. I love it.
Don't let anybody talk you into coming to India. You gotta want it. Now, we hope you do want it, because we love it.
Were you talked into coming to India?
No, my parents visited India 25 years ago, and of course they talked about getting ready for that trip for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
And India, I think, is my mom's favorite place.
Yeah.
And so I've
always
wanted to come.
Yeah,
but
it's on my bucket list. I always wanted to do it too, so nobody talked me into doing it. You know, I think our point is like,
I've got talked into going on vacations before. You know, let's go to Puerto Rico for 3 weeks. Okay, sure. Let's go here.
yeah.
Don't get talked into
Don't
coming
get
to
talked into
India
coming to
if
India.
this is not where you want to go.
This is advanced. We like to say that India is advanced travel, right? You really gotta wanna kind of have this experience and put yourself out there, expose yourself to a lot of new things.
Be
You
in
gotta
the action.
Be in the action, right?
Yeah.
You got to be committed to it. You got to want it. You can't just kind of come here and roll the dice and hope that things go well. I think you'll be very disappointed, and it might be a little bit overwhelming. So, you know, my advice to you is to come to India and check it out,
Yeah.
right? And I'm coming back. I know that for sure. We've already talked about where we might like to go next and what we might like to do.
All right. Come see it for yourself.
We want to, hey, thanks for taking a moment with us to hear our thoughts. If you've enjoyed the channel, do me a favor, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Go slow.
Doucement.
Go travel.
Voyager.
Okay.
And spread the word about slow travel. Follow us on YouTube, Mr. and Mrs. Slow Travel.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Go slow.
Doucement.
Go travel.
Voyager.